Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here for the NBA main slate here on Thursday. We got a smaller slate, only 4 games. Last night, just throwaway, I had CD Osman. He got injured in the first quarter, and I'm hoping this injury trend doesn't continue, because that's 2 of the last 3 nights for me where I've had injury cost me. And last year I was pretty profitable, but then I just hit a streak where I just every single night I had someone injured or ejected or something like that. So I'm praying this ends tonight because, nothing's more frustrating when you put like a lot of work into a lineup, a lot of research all day, and then your night's over in the first few minutes. It's really, really frustrating, especially because I was on a lot of the right plays. I was on the Minnesota, the Lakers game, as well as Chicago and the Pelicans. I called the Anthony Davis bounce back. I was off Paul George. He was high owned, and I was off him. I said I like Schroeder better for the discount. So, I was right on a lot of things last night, and, the injury it cost me because Osman was low owned. Just really, really praying this injury, I stop getting hit with the injury bug, because that's one of the most frustrating things in daily fantasy. Okay, so now that little rant's over, hoping we can get back on the winning track tonight. So we got 4 games. Okay, so let's look at the over-unders real quick. And yeah, you can definitely see there's a big difference here. We got 238 with the Bucks and the Warriors, 226 the Clippers, Trailblazers, and you got a couple 213 and 214 for Boston, Phoenix, and Houston, OKC. So I definitely, I always trust Vegas, so I want to target the 2 late night games heavily here. Not that I'll completely ignore the first 2 games, but I'm definitely going to be way more heavily invested in the last 2 games. Okay, so at the top here, we got Russell Westbrook. He was ruled out Wednesday. I don't think he'll play today either. We haven't gotten news yet on that. So Steph Curry at 10-3. So the big news today is Draymond is out. So, people would think Draymond being out doesn't really affect Steph. It actually does, because Draymond, he was a facilitator in that offense. So without Draymond, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant are going to pick up a lot more assists here. And, I just think I really like Steph Curry tonight here. I think he'll be somewhat low owned. He basically has a floor of 40 with an upside of 60, 70 points. And I do think he'll pick up a double-double tonight with assists with no Draymond. So I really do like Steph Curry here at low ownership. So Harden, this is just a price thing, 10-1. That's just way too cheap for James Harden. It's just, I kind of prefer Steph Curry over him. Just because the high over-under, the matchup here's not the best. He'll probably pick up Paul George defense. And Harden just hasn't really looked, as good as he did last year. This Houston team's kind of a mess. It's a very low over-under here. The reason I do like Harden is the salary. I'm kind of leaning towards Steph Curry tonight over Harden. I think that will be unpopular. I think Harden will be pretty chalky tonight. But yeah, I just am leaning towards Steph Curry tonight. So if we get towards below the top tier, we got Lillard, Chris Paul, and Irving, and Devin Booker. Not a whole lot of interest here. I do think these guys will be low owned. These 3 at least. Booker, I think he'll be pretty popular just because of his salary for $7,600. It's a very, very tough match here against Boston. He did put up that, 70 actual points against Boston a few years ago. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. The offense is him and DeAndre Ayton, basically. I just think this game could turn into a blowout. Phoenix has looked very, very bad. So I don't think I'll be on Devin Booker. I think, again, he'll be pretty popular. But I think I will be fading him as well. So Dennis Schroeder, I talked about him in my last video. And I talked about I will take him over Paul George for the price discount. And yeah, he did not disappoint. Paul George was very high owned, and he was a letdown. So I got that one right. 7,000 here for Dennis Schroeder. I think he could go back there again. The over/under is not the best here, but he's going to shoot the ball a ton. Pretty surprising. He had 0 assists. But I think he could go right back to the wall, Schroeder. I'm kind of undecided on if I want him in my lineup or not. CJ McCollum, I mean, we saw he had that huge game against Milwaukee. He's had 2 pretty big games here in the last 3. It's just, he's just a streaky shooter. His peripherals aren't really there. I don't know. CJ McCollum's not really a guy I get on unless his price tag is really cheap. 6,500 is not bad. I just think I could do better today. But again, he does have that huge upside. So if you want to go there in GPPs, I don't mind it. Lou Williams with Avery Bradley being out picked up a few more minutes. I don't mind him at 5,900 as well. Again, this over/under is pretty high. He should pick up a few more minutes. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. So I don't mind Lou Williams there. Eric Bledsoe here at 5,700. Pretty cheap price tag for him. It just, he doesn't really see a lot of minutes. He's kind of capped at low 30s at best. So it's kind of frustrating with him the minutes. If his minutes are more secure, I'd be more on him. I think he does have huge upside here tonight against Golden State. I like a lot of the Bucks tonight with Draymond out of that lineup. So again, I think definitely Eric Bledsoe is someone I have interest in. I'm kind of undecided again on him with roster construction how many Bucks I want in my lineup. But he's definitely someone I'm considering heavily. So Eric Gordon, he practiced Wednesday, is questionable. I don't go with Eric Gordon when Harden and Paul are back. If one of those two are out, then maybe I look his way, but he's just a streaky shooter, not someone I like having in my lineups. Brogdon here at 4,500. This is a salary I can get behind. He's going to see close to 30 minutes. He doesn't have the upside of Bledsoe. So I think he's more of a cash game play, with Bledsoe being the tournament play because Bledsoe's more upside. But I don't mind at all. Malcolm Brogdon, this high-paced matchup at 4,500. Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart, you can look their way. If this game turns into a blowout, they'll get a little more run. So I don't mind going, if you want to go that route, the blowout route, and play some of these backups. I don't mind that. Let's see here. Patrick Beverley, a guy I've talked about a few times here in my videos, and a guy I will be on again tonight with no Avery Bradley. He saw 39 minutes. I don't think we'll see that many minutes. I think we'll see 30 to 35 minutes. But for a starting point guard, that's just too cheap here for Patrick Beverley. He put up a 40 bomb against the Pelicans, so he does have that upside. 3,800. He is definitely probably my top play for salary relief here. I really like Patrick Beverley tonight. If you want to I think he'll be pretty highly owned. If you want to get off the ownership, you can look to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He picked up the start, saw 25 minutes. I think he'll be capped around there, 25, maybe 30 minutes. He does have some upside as well. So I don't mind if you want to pivot that way for ownership. DiVincenzo, 3,400. I think he'll be very low owned tonight. With the value being basically Patrick Beverley and some of these cheap Golden State guys. I don't think anyone's going to look Dante DiVincenzo's way. But, he's quietly getting, 20 to 25 minutes. Last game he wasn't that productive. But he's putting up, in the last few games, 15 to 25 fantasy points at 3,400. I definitely think you can look his way at low ownership. Let's move on to shooting guard. So again, a lot of these guys I talked about. So Chris Middleton here at 6,700. Again, I kind of said in my video last time when the Bucks played that it was if Giannis was playing, I was on Giannis and not really any of these peripheral guys. But with no Draymond and with such a high over-under, this game should stay close. I really do like Chris Middleton tonight here. His minutes are a little more secure than Bledsoe's. I do think all these Bucks will get a little minutes boost here tonight too. because this is such a big game. And yeah, I like the salary for Chris Middleton. He's got 50-point upside, so I do like him at 6,700. Let's see, Klay Thompson. Again, I was on him against Chicago when he put up that 70 bomb. He's quietly picked up the pace here shooting the ball. 6,000 I do think is still a little too cheap. So if you want cheap exposure to this game, I think Klay Thompson is a fine play there at 6,000. Gordon Hayward, I can't get on him yet. His minutes are kind of being capped. Once that minutes limit is, once they get rid of it, I'll be more on him, but I can't play a guy that's going to play 25 minutes a game. Evan Turner, he's more of a boomer bust guy. He's got 35, then 18, 16, 40. He's running the backup point. He's doing a pretty good job here for Portland. 5,000, I don't mind it. I just don't think I would be going that way today. Iguodala with no Draymond. He should pick up a few more minutes. I just don't like the salary at 4,300. If he was like 3,800, I would be more on Iguodala. But yeah, at 4,300, I think I will take guys like Alfonso McKinney, Jonas Jerebko, Jordan Bell, Looney over him right now. Let's see. Anything else? Not really. All right, let's move on to small forward. And at the top is Giannis. So he's got that 1,600 salary difference. He was 12.6 last time. Now he's 11,000. So definitely a tempting price here. I do like that, again, Draymond's going to be out. So that only boosts Giannis's appeal more for me. I think he's the stud I want in my lineups. We've seen Giannis. He's gotten in foul trouble a few times, and I've had like the worst luck in the last week with foul trouble, injuries, stuff like that. So I'm just praying I'm locking Giannis and he does not get in foul trouble, because if he does, that would just be pretty, pretty devastating. So I really do like Giannis at 11,000. If he stays out of foul trouble, I think he has a huge game. Kevin Durant at 10-2. Definitely someone I have interest in, with no Draymond. It's going to be him and Steph Curry picking it up in the assist category. There's going to be more rebounds to come by, so I think Durant picks up a few more rebounds. So I do like Kevin Durant a lot. I think I'm leaning a little more towards Steph Curry, but I certainly don't mind Kevin Durant. Paul George at 8-9. I was off him last night. He was pretty popular. I think he'll be pretty popular again here. I think I'm going to fade again, to be honest. He's got a pretty tough matchup here. He's going to pick up PJ Tucker defense. Not a guy I really like picking on. He is going to shoot. It's going to be him and Schroeder shooting the ball a ton. But I just think I would prefer Schroeder again for the discount. And the match was better for Schroeder too. But I do think Paul George will be pretty popular. I think I'll be fading again today. Tobias Harris. Again, he's just too cheap. I've talked about him in basically every single video now. And his usage in his offense, he's just too cheap at 7,100. He's got 50-point upside. His minutes are pretty secure. He's going to see 30 to 35 minutes. It's an up-tempo game. I really do like Tobias at 7,100. These Boston guys, I just never really play anyone from Boston unless there's injuries. They run too many guys on the bench. They're too deep of a team. So I'm kind of off Boston. Let's see. Jeremy Grant, someone I've played a lot here in the past week or so. But his price has come up. I liked him when he was like 4,000. Now he's up to almost 5,000. I think he's still playable. But I think we can do better. Let's see, Aminu. Again, I liked him when he was 4,000. Now that he's up to 4,700, I think we can also do better. Let's see. PJ Tucker, 4,200. I think he's in play for cash games. He doesn't really have a whole ton of upside. They're going to need him to guard Paul George, though. So I don't mind PJ Tucker there. Okay, so let's get to these Golden State guys. Alfonso McKinney at 3,800. We saw with no Iguodala. He picked up 29 minutes. He got 22 fantasy points. He does have a pretty big upside here. Put up 40 fantasy points against Chicago, but that was because of a blowout. All the starters were out at that point. So I don't think he's going to put up 40, but I definitely think McKinney can get you 15 to 20 fantasy points. And at 3,800, that is not too bad. Jerebko at 3,600. Again, we don't know who's going to start for Draymond. I think they're still going to run Iguodala off the bench, so I think it's probably going to be, McKinney or Jerebko or Jordan Bell, maybe Kevon Looney that picks up the start. One of those four. So the key for the slate today is picking these right Golden State value guys. There's a lot of options here. Again, Iguodala, you could go, Jordan Bell, McKinney, Jerebko, Kevon Looney, Damian Jones. I think you need, I would say, two of those guys. So I think two of them are going to have a pretty big game here. No Draymond. It's tough to predict which one's going to have a good game. So I think if you can get that right, that's the key for tonight's slate. If you can pick the right Golden State value guys, you're going to be pretty successful. It is kind of tough to predict. So I'm kind of wait and see approach, see who they start, and I'll go from there. But I think all of them are certainly in play. Okay, so let's see here. Again, Boston. You can play Al Horford in cash. He's got a pretty high floor, but I'm looking elsewhere. Gallinari, I don't mind him at 6,000. The minute's a little less secure than Tobias, but he's basically the number 2 in the offense. So I don't mind Gallinari. A guy I'm really liking today at 5,600 is Montrezl Harrell. So basically, Gortat is phased out of the offense. So the only two bigs the Clippers have are Boban and Montrezl Harrell. And Capella, he's not one of those really big centers that they're going to need Boban out there a bunch. So I think Montrezl Harrell at 5,600 is a great value today. So look what he did against Houston at 10-26. He put up almost 50 fantasy points. He's got this huge upside here. And with Gortat out of the rotation, I really like Montrez. I think he's going to play 25 to 30 minutes. And he's got huge upside. So someone I am definitely on today. I do think he'll be pretty low owned as well. So I really like Montrez today at 5,600. Let's see. Zach Collins. Portland's is kind of a mess with Nurkic, with Zach Collins. They're starting to give Myers Leonard and Caleb Swanigan minutes now too. It's a shit show in Portland. I'm kind of staying away from those bigs. Sure, you can look at Nurkic in tournaments. He does have upside. I hate Terry Stotts so much. You never know what's going to happen with that rotation. So I'm kind of staying away from those Portland value bigs. Jordan Bell. So last year, when Draymond was out, he was the guy that stepped in. He would be pretty productive. This year, not so much. He's not getting as many minutes. He got 21 minutes against Memphis, only 9 fantasy points. I don't mind him today. Again, I think right now I'm leaning towards McKinney and Jerebko. But I don't mind Jordan Bell. It's going to be interesting. We're going to have to wait and see who Golden State ends up starting. Kevon Looney as well, I think, is certainly in play. He should pick up 15 to 20 minutes as well at 3,500. So I don't mind him at all. And then, okay, so let's look at the center position. So a lot of these centers I think are pretty underpriced. Capella at 6'9", not someone I really like playing, but he does have that upside. He has 50-point upside for sure. Not the best matchup here against Steven Adams, though. DeAndre Ayton. Again, if you want to attack Boston, you do it in the front court. So I would prefer playing Ayton over Devin Booker today. Um, I do like the salary at 6,800. I don't know if I'm going to go there. He's also got 50-point upside. So I'm going to have to kind of undecided on center right now. So there are some good plays. Nurkic, like I said, Terry Stotts, you don't know what's going to happen. He has huge upside. But I don't know if I can go there. A guy I'm liking here, again, I talked about in my last video, is Steven Adams. Now he's down to 5,800. I liked him against Cleveland. He put up 35 for 6,400. Definitely will take that. His minutes are secure. That's what I like. He's going to see 35 to 38 minutes a game. The matchup's not the best. And Westbrook being out kind of hurts him a little bit because he gets a lot of those points on those like alley-oops. Schroeder, definitely not the point guard that Westbrook is. He's more of a scorer. I do think that hurts Adams a little bit. I just think the salary today is way too cheap at 5,800. Steven Adams is more of a 7K center. So I think he's about $1,000 too cheap. And I really like Steven Adams today at only 5,800. Boban, a guy I've liked in the last week or so. I don't know if he's going to see a whole ton of minutes tonight. I do like him for GPPs. Because like I said, he can be so productive in just 20 minutes. I think he's going to be very, very low on tonight. I think no one will be on Boban. So if you want to take the ownership percentage, the low ownership, I do like Boban for tournaments. He does have all the upside in the world. I don't know if he's going to see that many minutes. I think it's just more of a Montrezl Harrell game. Let's see. Ilyasova at 4,300. I'm kind of liking that. Brook Lopez doesn't really match up that well against Golden State here. I think Ilyasova, they'll run him more at the 5. And Ilyasova does have pretty good upside. He's going to shoot the ball. He's a pretty high usage guy when he goes out there. So at 4,300, I think not a lot of people will be on him, but I do like Ilyasova today. So Rashawn Holmes, I did talk about him against Brooklyn. I said he's got that huge upside like we saw against Philly, and he put up 32 fantasy points at 3,300. Again, he's strictly playing backup 5 minutes. So if Ayton gets in foul trouble, Holmes could have another big day. So if you want to play that aspect of Ayton getting in foul trouble, I don't mind Holmes. Let's see. Nerlens Noel. If you want to play the theory of Steven Adams getting in foul trouble, you can do that. And Nerlens Noel. I mean, when he gets the minutes, he is huge, huge upside. So I don't mind taking a shot at 3,600 and Noel. One more guy I'll talk about here. Damian Jones at 3,200. I think he's going to be the forgotten warrior tonight. And with no Draymond, I think he'll pick up a few more rebounds. I think he'll pick up a few more minutes. I think he sees, 15, maybe 20 minutes. And, he's not the most productive player, but at basically minimum price, I think he is going to be the forgotten warrior tonight. And I don't mind taking a shot at him at 3,200. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Again, the keys for the video, or for the slate, are picking those right Golden State value guys. So I think 2 of those value guys, plus Patrick Beverley, then you can go stars in the scrubs lineup. You can get Giannis, you can get Harden, you can get Steph Curry, Durant, you get a couple of those stars. Pair them with those scrubs, and I think you could have a pretty good lineup here. If you want to play the ownership aspect, the low owned, the mid-tier guys, if you want to make a lineup like that, I think that'll be pretty low owned. I'm definitely preferring the stars and scrub approach tonight. So let's pray that no one gets in foul trouble and no one gets injured tonight. Really, really hoping that, it's been brutal the last few slates with injuries and foul trouble. So I'm just praying we have some good luck tonight. And yeah, that's going to do it, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content, please like this video, subscribe. If you have any comments, you can leave them in the comment section down below. Follow me on Twitter. It will be in the description below. I'll give my thoughts as more news comes out. And yeah, I will be back Friday for NBA main slate. So I'll see you guys then.